She's gonna fuck 1,000 guys in one day? That should be illegal in the United States
illegal, man.
and Canada.
Oh, she's doing it in the States on January 26th. I mean, I'm
calling the cops.
If you could handle with your people, maybe we deport her out of the States. Because
I don't think it's like a 911, but it's just like, it's like when you call the police, you know, it might take them 30 minutes to call back, and it's just like, yo, I'm just letting you know. This girl's about to bang 1,000 guys in one day. I really don't think this is good for the neighborhood. I don't think it's good for the county. It's definitely not good for the state. And it's not good for the country.
Well, I'm going to do 1,000 next.
But can you understand like how silly that sounds?
I just think it would be a laugh. It would be a laugh.
Is it? But
I just think it's kind of iconic. Like, I've never seen anyone. I mean, no one's ever quadruple digits amount of people in one day.
Hold on to your hats because the internet is in meltdown mode again, and for good reason. OnlyFans model Bonnie Blue has sparked a storm of controversy after announcing an eyebrow-raising feat, allegedly sleeping with 1,057 men in just 12 hours.
Oh, and Karen's, just a reminder, it's not just your sons I'll happily pleasure, it's also your husband that you've neglected.
Yes, you heard that right. A jaw-dropping number that has ignited heated debates across social media. So, what's the story behind this claim, and why is everyone talking about it? Let's break it down.
I just wondered, I can't just see it on the menu, but where do I get the 5 guys from?
So, huh?
The 5 guys. I didn't know if it was like a special room where you can take me out back.
No, I don't think that's happening.
What about after your shift? I mean,
yeah.
I'd want to give you, a good rating.
I'm a Christian man and I'm saving myself a man.
I'm asking for what's on the menu, that's all.
Genuinely, I feel like I'm doing it right now. I can hand you a menu if you want.
Are you on it?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's a shame.
Bonnie, a 25-year-old from Derbyshire, claims to have smashed a world record previously set by adult film actress Lisa Sparks, who slept with 919 men in 24 hours back in 2004. Bonnie's event reportedly took place in London, and in true viral fashion, she's already taken to TikTok to thank her participants. Yes, that includes what she's dubbed the barely legal, barely breathing, and the husbands.
Spend 2 minutes with me alone or double it and pass it to your friend.
2 minutes for me or 4 minutes for you guys. I think it's 2 minutes for myself. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
might be worth it. 2 minutes, let's go.
What are you going to do to me in 2 minutes?
We'll have a bit of fun, We'll see what we can do.
Okay, do you have your ID with you?
I don't need ID.
No, you do need ID.
Oh my God.
Okay, did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, very fun. Quite wholesome, to be fair.
Quite wholesome.
Not what you would expect. Better, plus more.
So it was a good thing that I'm not what you expect.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise.
And how long did you last?
Oh my God, if you...
The bold phrasing has unsurprisingly ruffled feathers online, but Bonnie is no stranger to controversy. She's previously faced backlash for openly promoting relationships with barely legal 18-year-olds, and even encouraging men to cheat on their wives. Despite the criticism, her unconventional career continues to thrive, with reports suggesting she earns up to a staggering £750,000 a month through her explicit OnlyFans content.
Have you slept with a father and son at the same time?
Yes, yeah. I think that's brilliant. Like, to have that much of a good relationship with your son, or, for the son to have that much of a good connection with their dad, I think it's fantastic. Too many people, especially 18-year-olds, I know when I was at school, would argue with their dads or wouldn't have a good relationship with them. I think to have that much of a good relationship that you can come with your dad to sleep with me is fantastic.
Yeah, see, this is where it's either you and me on a completely different page, or it's just generations, because I think the father needs his head kicked in for that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I know you think that, but I think that is one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard, and he needs his chicken.
The dad is just a guy himself, and if he wants to be pleasured and have fun in the bedroom, he deserves that as well. So
with his son.
Yeah, so I think why not? If you've got a good connection.
Nuts.
In videos posted online, Bonnie described how the event was managed, detailing that participants were organized into groups of 5, with one person observing while the others participated in what she called a rotating cycle. She even joked about her glowing skin afterward, crediting the intense session for her improved complexion.
This is what my face looks like after taking 1,000 men less than 12 hours ago. I told you girls, taking fluids for moisturizer was good for your skin.
The numbers alone have left many speechless. According to her claims, she averaged 41 seconds per person during the 12-hour marathon. Her PR team, speaking to The Sun, confirmed that while Bonnie reached her target of 1,000 men, an additional 57 were left waiting in line, eager to participate.
The big 1000 was completely done. So it started off, I'll give you a bit of an overview. After to start with, it was just like the room was absolutely full. Then we did groups of 5, like one after the other of 5s. I wanted to give people more time, so then it went down to like one-on-ones, didn't it? So like one person would watch whilst I was with somebody, and then it would literally just be like a rotating circle like that.
You had 1,000 men's inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably down there a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair, like I am fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had. I think if it had continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people. There we go.
The internet, however, wasn't as impressed. Commenters flooded her TikTok posts with criticism, calling her actions embarrassing and accusing her of chasing fame and money at any cost. One user wrote, "Why would anyone do this?" While another questioned the motivations of the men who took part. This isn't Bonnie's first brush with controversy. Last November, she attempted to travel to Australia to host a free session with school leavers during their annual celebrations. The catch? Participants had to consent to having the event filmed for online content. However, her plans were thwarted when Australian authorities cancelled her visa, citing her intent to undertake paid work, a violation of the visa's terms. Bonnie defended herself, stating she took precautions to ensure all participants were over 18, but the backlash was swift and severe.
Now, the decision by a young woman on the erotic website OnlyFans to sleep with 100 men in one evening is not heroic, it's not groundbreaking, it's not innovative. It's a tragedy. It's also reckless, irresponsible, deeply immoral, and dangerous. Now, of course, it's a free country. This is a grown woman who invited these chaps to pop round for more than just a cup of Bovril. And it's absurd for feminist writers like Julie Bindel, with whom I normally agree, to claim that it is somehow the men's fault and they should be locked up. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think much of these lads to participate in this grim orgy doesn't reflect brilliantly on their character or values. But let's be clear that no law was broken. And men being men, if something like that is offered on a plate, it will be taken. But this story reflects a wider and more troubling issue than men's shallow sexual opportunism. It reflects the spiritual collapse of our society, where the act of making love, once delayed until the wedding night, is now an everyday marketable commodity. This intimate exchange, and once the expression of love, or at least lust, is now a joyless transaction. I was reading in the paper today of a new word, snowmanning. Have you heard that word, snowmanning? It is a syndrome in which women are intimate with a guy only for him to cut off all contact the next day, so-called melting away like a snowman. And this is progress, is it? Also, with regard to this story about this young woman, there are some practicalities here. I don't want to think of the injuries that she has inflicted on her own body, not to mention the risk of sexually transmitted diseases with the likes of chlamydia and even the medieval malady of gonorrhea on the increase. The other tragedy of this story is the messaging that lies underneath it. Lily Phillips, this young woman, can wreck her own life if she must. But this vomit-inducing stunt will be seen by millions around the world. It will amplify misogyny, with men once again seeing women as worthless pieces of meat to be consumed for their own fleeting pleasure. And it will tell girls around the world that this is all they and their body are worth. Western society has lost its values, has lost its decency, has lost its moral compass.
After her latest Australian plans fell through, she took to ITV's This Morning last November to address growing criticism of her unconventional career in adult entertainment. But instead of quelling the backlash, Tia's unapologetic defense of her work only added fuel to the fire. While on air, she boldly stated, "I'm still learning every day, but my content is educational to those I'm sleeping with and those watching it." She dismissed safety concerns, adding, "I can't think of one situation where an 18-year-old has had sex where they've had to bring a passport, sign consent forms, and more."
They really bigged you up, you know. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Do you want to spend 2 minutes with me alone or double it and pass it to the next person?
2 minutes with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do to me?
As much as possible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we going to have fun?
I hope so.
Yeah? Okay.
I'll have fun.
Did you have fun?
I had an amazing time.
Yeah? Would you do it again?
Every day.
Would you recommend me to a friend?
I recommend it to everyone.
Including your dad?
Especially my dad.
Born as Tia Bellinger, she wasn't always in the spotlight. Once married to her childhood sweetheart, Oliver Davidson, the pair relocated to Australia in 2022. It was there that Tia left her job in recruitment and launched her career as an adult content creator, claiming her then-husband supported the move. However, their relationship eventually ended. The surprises don't stop there. Tia's parents, who were initially shocked by her career choice, have since become her biggest supporters. "They thought I was a prostitute," she admitted, "but it just showed me how much I needed to teach them."
When you started OnlyFans, was it just like underwear pics?
No, you have to be interested for that. So I went from 0 to 100 very quickly.
You went
overnight.
straight to...
Then in November last year, there's
Right.
something in Australia called schoolies.
Okay.
So it's fresh 18-year-olds. They've just finished school. They go partying.
Right.
To be fair, they came to me. They was like, coming to the location I
Yeah,
lived
they did.
at. So I was like, I'm going to open my door to them.
Of course.
Over time, her success has transformed their lives. No more mortgages, no financial worries, and even luxurious vacations funded by her earnings. Her mom now works for her, managing appointments, handing out marketing materials, and even distributing condoms to students.
Have like a little bit of a convo with them when they come in, or do you just straight
Yeah,
to
because
it?
bless them, they're so nervous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're holding their ID up, they're shaking, they're trying
Oh,
to sign the
God.
consent forms. It's looking like I'm literally holding them like to their will. But I can understand why they'd be nervous.
100%.
They don't know me. They've just queued up for hours on end. All they know is that I'm videoing it and they don't know what to expect.
In a candid interview with the Daily Mail, she addressed accusations of predatory behavior with a fiery defense. "I'm not a predator," she said, pointing out that 18-year-olds can serve in the army, drive, drink, and even decide their careers. "If they want to use their own bodies to sleep with me, that's their decision," she added. Blue didn't stop there, doubling down on the double standards she believes society holds.
Do you want kids?
I think so in the future, yeah.
Are you going to tell them what you do? Are you going to, or did, are you going to
Yeah,
find
sure.
out?
I'll tell them.
Okay.
Like, obviously everything's online.
Yeah.
They'd find out regardless.
Right.
And I just think they'll be brought up, and it's becoming less and less taboo anyway.
That's
Like,
true.
OnlyFans a few years ago was like, if you do that, like, you are a prostitute.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, everyone's a lot more open to it.
We say 18-year-olds don't know better, but if they commit a crime, the first thing we say is that they're an adult and should know better. As if that wasn't enough to spark outrage, Blue has also drawn heavy criticism for openly admitting she sleeps with married men and feeling no guilt about it. If the wife isn't interested in intimacy, the men are going to cheat whether you like it or not, she explained, referencing what she claims are statistical truths. They deserve to enjoy sex. It's a natural instinct. If they're not with me, they'll find someone else at the office or the gym. For Blue, these encounters are purely transactional. There's no intimacy. I can't even remember their faces by the end of the night, she confessed. I'm just a girl that sleeps around, and their husbands mean nothing to me. These comments have ignited fierce debates online, with many calling her actions destructive and harmful. Yet Blue remains unbothered, standing firm in her unapologetic narrative.
Do you get a lot of hate comments on your stuff?
Oh, loads.
Really? Does
Yeah.
it affect you or not
No,
really?
because like loads of it is like not relevant. It's always middle-aged women that have either probably, they know their partner would like to cheat with me.
Yeah.
And that's not really my problem.
No,
It's a
fair.
them problem. It's a you problem.
It's a story that will leave you questioning everything about societal values and personal boundaries. A recent event has sparked outrage and disbelief. A woman allegedly hosted a gathering of over 1,000 men to exploit her own body, with her mother's involvement no less. Let's unpack the layers of controversy, accountability, and cultural impact this disturbing situation has stirred up.
Can I ask you how much you've made in like a year off OnlyFans?
So this year it's already been over 3 million.
Hell.
First, let's talk about the shocking attendance. Over 1,000 men willingly showed up for this exploitative event. 1,000, this isn't just about one woman's controversial actions, it's a glaring reflection of our society's deeper issues. How have we reached a point where such behavior is normalized, or worse, encouraged? The willingness of so many participants to engage highlights how exploitation is dressed up as entertainment, perpetuating a culture that thrives on objectification. But let's not lose sight of the key player in this story, the woman herself.
This job benefits everyone in my family.
Yeah.
Including her. It's like a family business at this point.
No, it actually is.
Yeah, like it was funny because obviously I don't live here, so I don't see my family that often.
Yeah.
And I came down a few weeks ago.
The responsibility for orchestrating this event rests squarely on her shoulders. She planned it, promoted it, and essentially turned herself into a spectacle. It's hard not to wonder, What kind of self-esteem or self-worth drives someone to invite strangers into such a demeaning situation? And here's where it gets even more unsettling. Her mother, the one person you'd expect to guide, protect, and stand against such exploitation, was allegedly involved in organizing the entire thing. Yes, you heard that right. Her own mother. Instead of being a source of support, she became an enabler, directly contributing to the objectification of her daughter. What kind of parent does that? This isn't an isolated event either. It's part of a growing cultural trend fueled by social media and media platforms that reduce women to mere objects. The normalization of these behaviors doesn't just harm individuals, it feeds into a much larger societal issue of exploitation and dehumanization. As disturbing as this story is, it's also like a moment for reflection. How do we, as a society, contribute to these situations, either directly or indirectly? And what should be done to break this vicious cycle of objectification and exploitation? Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this situation? Is this a sign of deeper societal decay? Or do you think there's more to the story? Let me know in the comments below because this conversation is far from over.